We're at Knott's Berry Farm to test and review Fastlane. Does it work? Of course it does, but how well? Is it a good value? Let's find out. That's right, Knott's Berry Farm. We're here to test and review their Fastlane system, their front of the line, skip the standby Fastlane system, part of our ongoing efforts to give you the truth about the value of programs such as this. Programs like Disney's Genie Plus or Express Lane at Universal, mobile order, that kind of thing. Today we're checking out Fastlane, and we picked a pretty good day for it. It's kind of busy here. And we're gonna get right into things. Hang a quick left right here at this intersection. Hey, how are you? We're gonna go check out GhostRider, which according to the app has something like a 3-hour wait. So we're gonna find out right away how much time we save against that posted wait time. Now I don't know how accurate 3 hours is for GhostRider, given where the back of the queue is now. I've seen the queue much larger than that for sure, but it all depends on how much activity there is on Fastlane, as we've often pointed out with regard to Genie Plus. I will say that that queue does not look very good at all. It looks kind of daunting, it looks intimidating. I wouldn't want to be in that queue. I'm already happy that we've got this Fastlane if we're looking to do rides today, and that's what the goal is do a bunch of rides with Fastlane. And that right there is the back of the Fastlane queue. You don't enter with the rest of the folks. You come up here to the back side of the queue, and that's actually a fairly long queue also, even for Fastlane. We're getting into this queue now at 1:02 in the afternoon. Interesting development. They've added QR code scanners out here for Fastlane. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it's 1:12. It took us 10 minutes to reach our ride vehicle against 3 hours posted for GhostRider. Look at that. Queue's grown quite a bit since we got in it. That's another 10 minutes, I bet, right there. You're looking at now with this queue here about a 20-minute wait. I will add also that operations reared its ugly head once more. It took us 10 minutes to get to our vehicle, but another 7 just to get launched. It took a long time for them to do the whole safety check and everything, which is not uncommon at Knott's. That happens often. There's just no urgency with that. So we got back into the station at 1:22, 10 minutes after we boarded our vehicle. So a very definite and obvious win for Fastlane here at GhostRider. And of course it was, but really the issue isn't whether or not Fastlane is better than going on standby. Clearly it will be. The question is value. And this is one of those occasions where even if it's not 3 hours, let's just say it's 2. We're standing in front of, that's the GhostRider queue behind us, and while I'm having this little discussion, you can probably watch and see just how stagnant that queue is. I wish we had the ability to measure that queue today to find out. I'd be very curious to see how close it is to 3 hours. Having said all that, obviously 10 minutes is a win. As a matter of fact, while I stand here observing things, noting obviously that the queue has not moved since I've gotten here. I'm seeing the same groups of people just kind of sort of sitting here. I'm seeing a lot of people bouncing out of the queue. They're going in, finding out that the back of the queue is right here, and then they're just going right back out. In fact, some of the people that I've seen in here have also left. It's not a good look. In fact, GhostRider's so bad that I would say that this is, on a day like today, you could just cross off riding GhostRider standby off your list if you're not trying to buy Fastlane. This is one of those attractions you cross off. We're gonna hit some other ones where the wait isn't too bad and you could probably get some things done in a day. But this attraction specifically it's undoable, in my opinion. I don't know how anybody gets in this queue today and does little else. That's our next stop, Silver Bullet. On the app, it said the wait was 120 minutes. This is posted right here at 90. Neither one of those are a bargain. That standby queue doesn't look very pleasant either. Got a huge bullpen there of guests. Just as you enter, another one back over there on the other side of the Butterfield stagecoach queue. But we'll be taking this gate right here for Fastlane. Getting into this queue at 1:37. And if I'm not mistaken, that's it right here. This is standby. That's an extension of all that we saw down here and back there behind that tree. Well, that all happened so fast I didn't even get a chance to document it on video, but that took 3 minutes. We were in our ride vehicle at 1:40, 3 minutes total against who knows what. I mean, 90, 120 minutes that was posted depending on what you look at, which by the way, I'll note, the app and what you see out here in front of the attractions are not in sync. So who knows what the actual time is. And again, I won't have the opportunity to measure that actual wait time, but just 3 minutes. So what's more, it's an easy victory. I feel like it's stupid for even observing that, but 3 minutes, an obvious indication at the value of Fastlane. Oh, there they go. The value of Fastlane on a busy day like it is today. Maybe not so much on a not busy day, but today it's worth it. By the way, I should note, if you're new to the show, if you just found us because you're looking for information on Fastlane and Knott's Berry Farm, and you don't know, attractions like Silver Bullet are not for me. I do not handle attractions like this very well. I do not handle attractions with loops and inversions and corkscrews and all that. I am not a fan of that kind of attraction. I skip those. I go do the mine train ride. But you put me in science mode? You get me trying to analyze an attraction like that? You get me trying to analyze value and wait times and all that stuff, and I do not hesitate. I did not hesitate for 1 second to get on Silver Bullet just now. That's how much I love doing ride science, queue science. And before we head to our next attraction, let's just take a quick walk through the ghost town. Do a little vibe check here on this day to get a sense of the size of the crowds we're up against. By that I mean like the lemonade queue right here. Look at this size queue. My goodness, that is healthy. At the Calico Saloon to get a sarsaparilla, the queue is out the door. It's been a minute since I've seen that. Look at this, Sutter's. Burgers and chicken strips, right? Look at this thing. And they do not go quick though, this queue here at Sutter's. It is not very optimal, it's not very efficient. This is an hour. You're looking at a good hour for this queue right here. You want to get a pickle or a pretzel or some cotton candy? Look at this. Woo! Serious. I observe all this if only to illustrate the value of Fastlane. There's no mobile order here. There's no Fastlane for food service. So you're going to spend an hour in those queues to eat literally just an okay cheeseburger. You're going to invest some time in that. where are you going to save your time? If you, you know what I mean? Like the park is open for 12 hours today, from 10 to 10. I got here at 11 something, and it was already packed at that point. You were already fighting an uphill battle today. So, you know, it's very competitive, and you need all the help you can get. By the way, while we're in the neighborhood, I checked in on GhostRider again real quick. It's been about an hour since we finished this attraction, and we were just discussing how long everything took right down there. I did mark the back of the queue before I left, just to see if there was an off chance that I might be able to record a return time, how long it takes for a standby guest to get to the ride vehicle. And in that hour's time, the back of the queue is reached right here. That's where the back of the queue is now in that hour. So they've still got this pen here to go. Downstairs, and then upstairs, there's not a lot upstairs. Most of the queue upstairs is empty. But you've got all of this downstairs, and I can't really tell how deep it goes, but there's quite a lot of queue in there. You can see it. It's this room and that room. So they got a ways to go there. At least another hour, could be that full 2 hours to get you to 3 altogether. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get back here again in that next hour or two. I don't know where we'll be, but it's interesting to note, we at least know that much. It took an hour just to cross that path along the track there before you get into the interior queue space, which is, as I mentioned just now, lengthy. So I think at minimum, you're looking at 2 hours there at minimum, probably closer to that 3 hours. We'll try to come back here and see if we can't find those guys again in a little bit. But for now, let's head to our next attraction. In fact, let's head that way via Ghost Town. We haven't even been through here yet today. Which looks like it's going to be the Calico, my company. As I mentioned, I don't do rides like Silver Bullet very well. They upset my stomach, so we got to keep it chill for the next couple of attractions, I think. Calico Mine Company, 45-minute standby. But I don't think it's going to be even that long. Looking at this queue right here, that's a pretty empty standby queue by Calico Mine Train standards. I do have some experience on this one. I've waited in this whole queue, and it was about 45, but out here, that's maybe 30 or 25. Fastlane for Calico Mine Train is around the corner. Got to go all the way to the exit. It's quiet down here. Love it. Love it. Hard to pass up the Calico mine train ride, whether or not you're doing it on Fastlane. First good look at the scanners. Just like at Disneyland, except you don't use the app, you still have to use the wristband. I tried to see if I could do it on the app, but the QR code has disappeared from my app. It was there before, but I think once I used my wristband into the, on an attraction, the barcode disappeared.
Come on in, scan, and then I'll get you that very first car. Hi folks, how many?
Anyone have the video on them?
Obviously, you can tell, no waiting, 0 minutes. I said, what the heck, I'm gonna come back down to Ghost Town, to GhostRider, check in on the back of that queue that we left. It is now 3:45, 3:50. 2 hours and 40 minutes since we finished our GhostRider. An hour and 40 minutes since we were here last checking in the back of the queue. I didn't think there was any chance I was gonna be able to find it in there, but I did. The back of the queue is still it's still on the lower level, you guys. It's just inside the barn. I don't know, it's hard to tell how far through the queue, the switchbacks and everything in there, but they have not yet gone up the stairs. There's still a ways to go. It has now been 2.5 hours total. And I'm gonna give that queue, that spot in the queue, at least another half an hour. Probably more, probably closer to 45, maybe even about another hour, because the Fastlane queue has gotten even longer. There's no breaks. It's gotten worse. I guess the good news in this story is that 3-hour turn time has been enough of a deterrent that's the back of the queue now. So the line has gotten shorter, not by a lot. When we first arrived, actually, the line was out the door, out the threshold. 2.5 hours ago, the back of the queue was inside the mountain right there. I started this vlog with the idea of doing a test and review of the Fastlane system, and it's turned into the star of the show is just watching. We're running around the park. We're doing Silver Bullet. We're doing Calico. Did we do anything else? We had some lunch. I've just been kind of casually strolling around the park, not in any kind of hurry, testing rides, just doing all kinds of stuff. And meanwhile, they're still stuck. That's become the star of this show, is the glacier-like pace that GhostRider guests are enjoying right now. Meanwhile, the rest of Knott's Berry Farm is still popping. Look at this crowd, man. Yeehaw. You know what else I've noticed as we make our way to our next attraction? You know what else I've noticed? There's no ODV here at Knott's Berry Farm. I've been looking for just something to drink. I just want to get something to drink, but I don't want, you have to get into one of the full-on queues in order to do that. Every queue here is a mile long. There's no mobile order. There's no shortcut to just getting a Coke. Am I missing it? Is it because they're doing the Boysenberry Festival right now, but there's no ODV? Would there normally be some out here? Oh, I'm sorry. For those who don't know, ODV is outdoor vending. You know, carts, little mobile carts where you can get a popcorn and a Coke. They don't have that here. Why? And that right there, by the way, is our next stop. Ponies, oh my gosh, this queue is for Calico River Rapids. Oh my word. You can hear them screaming. That's the back of the queue right here. I don't think this has Layton. I don't think this has Express. This is Express for Pony Express. I should say Fastlane for Pony Express. That's pretty long. That's good. This is the longest queue we've seen today. It'll be the longest wait that we're gonna have for any Fastlane that I've seen so far. While we wait, one thing that we haven't talked about yet is cost. Things have been going very, very well. It's been an obvious win for Fastlane, but we haven't talked about the expense and how that relates to value. I mean, it's obviously a great time saver. By the clock, we've saved, 90 minutes. Silver Bullet, we saved, probably 3 hours at GhostRider, another 45 minutes at Calico Mine Train Ride. So what are you talking about? That's 200, I don't know, 180, 220, 310, that's like 5 hours. We saved 5 hours. That alone is a pretty good value. The price is $100. Today I paid $100 for this ticket for the Fastlane. When you go on the website and place your order, it shows that it starts at $74. It's a flex pricing system, just like Disney. But I think $99 is the highest that it can go. So $99 is what we paid today. By itself, as an individual, having saved the 5 hours, and there's lots more time to be saved here. We've only been on 3 attractions, right? 3. Anyway. Obviously, $100 is probably worth it. But it's not exactly family friendly. It takes away from the family friendly pricing that Knott's does enjoy. It doubles, because this park, you can't do this park, I don't think, today. Without Fastlane, I don't think you can. Let's get on Pony Express. We'll talk about more on this in just a minute. And that's row 6 at 4:12. We got in that queue at about 4 o'clock. So that was a 12-minute wait. 4:13. And those are our ponies on their way in. We got in this queue at about 3:58, so it's about a 15-minute wait. Again, that'll probably be the longest we wait on any attraction today. Still just 15 minutes though.
Lean forward, prepare to launch.
All right. I'm kind of excited. It's very much like a Tron experience, the way they have you strapped in. God. Giddy up. I'm nervous. Not Xcelerator nervous, but just nervous. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Whew. That's cool. Beautiful views up there, that's for sure. All right. Oh! That's just about perfection for me. Right to the edge of fear, but not quite. Short enough to not make me sick. And just the right amount of thrill. That was great. GhostRider is the king, obviously. It's one of the greatest roller coasters that I've ever experienced in my life. But I have to say, I think Pony Express might be my favorite right here. It's different. It's not your usual kind of roller coaster. It's not too scary. It doesn't make me sick at all. It's damn delight. I love Pony Express. By the way, 90 minutes was the posted standby wait time. We spent 15 in the queue. Net savings there, 75 minutes. We are now approaching almost 7 hours of time saved, 6 hours and 45 minutes-ish. Calico River Rapids does actually have Fastlane. It's posted at 90 minutes. You enter through the exit right here. I went ahead and checked. We're not going to ride today, but I went ahead and checked. and you go up these stairs to the exit, you make it around to the corner, and you can see it's a walk-on right now. There's no waiting for Fastlane at Calico River Rapids. Speaking of Knott's Berry and the boardwalk, let's head in that direction. I spent $100 on this this Fastlane pass today. I think I want to get a little more value out of it. I don't know. Do I dare try another thrill ride? I don't know. At least I know it won't make me nauseated. Xcelerator. Posted wait time 2 hours and 15 minutes. Entering this Fastlane queue at 4:52 p.m. Oh dear. This could be a minute. This is a slow loader. I wonder what the ratio is, because I'm seeing maybe 100 people in this queue. I was kind of wondering why we saw people leaving. People were passing it through the lens. I'm like, what changed their mind? Because I'm looking at the standby queue on my left, and it's not very deep. It's maybe at the same size as this queue. So that's 100. Oh my gosh, they're getting all the priority to this Fastlane for sure. So we have a minute. Let's talk about single-use Fastlane, because that is an option that they have now that they didn't have before. Single-use Fastlane. Oh, it's gonna go right above us. That's cool. That was an option. Funny story. That was actually what I was going to do today was single-use Fastlane. I came here today to test that out. So I thought that was an interesting idea. They're taking the individual Lightning Lane concept, Radiator Springs Racers, Rise of the Resistance, and putting it on a bunch of different Fastlane attractions, and then pricing them individually. They each have, there's a wide range of prices actually, depending on the popularity of the attraction. It's flex pricing. We couldn't do it on our first effort because the app was giving us difficulties. We could have today. We figured that out, but before we could even buy one, they were sold out. 5:03, 9 minutes later, and we have reached the mix point for standby and Fastlane. There's still this queue right there. That's post mix up there. So you're looking at still another 4 or 5 launches at least, right? Well, once again, I wasn't prepared for when I got into the vehicle because I'm a single rider. They paired me with somebody, so I jumped forward a little bit. 5:20 to our ride vehicle makes it 26 minutes all in. 26 minutes with Fastlane. That's a pretty beefy queue. It's still going way down there. Yeehaw. Oh my god, that's so scary. Oh, oh god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh! By the way, I'm laughing. I thought it was maybe 4 rotations from where we were at when we mixed, but it's 3 just to when they put you in your lane. That you can fit 3 groups, so that's 3 trains. So it was probably 6 or 7 runs, I guess, once you get to the mix point, if you're doing the full queue. So 26 minutes. That is the hairiest ride. It's so scary, you guys. That's the most scared. Up is terrifying because you just feel like you're gonna just go straight up into the sky. But down is even worse, especially for a skinny guy like me. I float around in the seat. So I was out of my butt was out of my seat, and I'm leaning forward. I'm falling. If it weren't for obviously all the restraints and all that stuff, I'm falling out of the vehicle. I'm afraid of heights, and I get sick on inversions and twists and things like that. Luckily, that's why I don't mind that ride. It's just fear. I can get through fear. It's the nausea that keeps me from doing rides like Silver Bullet. I guess maybe next time we do this, we go do Supreme Scream. 2 hours and 15 minutes. That was the posted wait time. We spent 25, so we saved, well, we'll just call it 2 hours. Call it 2 hours. We're now upwards of 8 hours, and we can do this all day, you guys. We can do this all day. We can, matter of fact, we can look at the tip board and show that the shortest standby queue that we've seen so far today is 45 minutes, and that was for Calico mine train ride. Everything else has been 90 minutes, I think, was the minimum. 90 minutes for Silver Bullet. 2 hours for that, 3 hours for GhostRider. Oh, it's 90 minutes for Pony Express. Even, what was it, the River Rapids, that was 90 minutes also, if I recall. So, continuing that conversation we had about value, you just can't do this park. You can have a good time, just be prepared to go on maybe 3 attractions. I'm gonna finish that conversation in a minute. I wanna finish that single-use Fastlane conversation first. And we'll have that conversation while we walk through the park a little bit, taking in the sights and the sounds, including the sound of your host, the sultry tones of Fresh Baked. Single-use Fastlane, there are 8 total Fastlane attractions that are included on single use. Not all of the Fastlane attractions, but 8 of them. Berry Tales, that's Berry Tales. This one is $9 today. It was $9. Jaguar was $10 today. This is when I recorded this earlier this morning at around 10 or 11 a.m. I should say. Hang Time was $15. Log Ride was $12. Okay, so Log Ride doesn't work, but Log Ride was put down at $12.50. GhostRider $17.50. Pony Express $10. Silver Bullet $12.50. And Xcelerator was $12.50. Every one of them were sold out before I could even get into the park. The very first thing I did this morning was go to guest services to try to figure out, because I couldn't buy one. We finally figured out how to do that. And as he was showing it to me, it was revealed that they were all sold out. Note also that this is flex pricing, and the prices that we're seeing there, I think, are the bottom. I think that's the bottom of the range. There is little chance that those were the prices for today when they sold out. They were sold out before we could even get started in our day, which means that they don't have a lot available. It makes me question the validity of that system, because why have it if you're not gonna sell very many? Why even have that option? If they're gonna sell out on a busy day like it is today, that quickly, so what chance does anybody have, except when it's not busy, on a day when, if it's not busy, you don't need it. So the pricing is flexible. We noticed that, for example, GhostRider was $17.50. That looked like to be the top range of, between attractions, whereas it was $10 on the bottom end for an attraction like Pony Express. The cast member that I spoke with this morning said he had seen GhostRider go for upwards of 30 on a given busy day, which tells me that their range is much wider. Disneyland's range is pretty narrow. It's like a $5 difference between the top and bottom, whereas here it's almost double. If we're seeing $17.50 today, on that list, and it's upwards of 30 or close to 30, then that's a pretty big disparity. I feel like that's actually the way it should be. But again, I have to question the point of doing it if they're going to sell out so quickly that you can't take advantage of that offer on a day when you really want to. And you're going to say, well, that's because they want to sell the $100 ticket. Sure, but then don't sell the single use at all then. Just sell the $100 ticket. Because as we've observed, it's a good value. What am there's no reason to buy a single use ticket on a day that isn't busy. I guess that's what I'm saying. Unless you literally just don't want to wait in any kind of line whatsoever. Well, it looks like we found our way to Fiesta Village. Won't be doing any rides in here today or checking out any queue signs. But I'm curious, I haven't looked around here much. Let's see what's going on here at Fiesta Village. Just another reminder for me that I hate that I can't handle spinning rides because they look like they were having so much fun. There are, watching those guests enjoy themselves on those attractions and be so happy to be tossed around like at the Soul Spin or La Revolucion. I wish I could enjoy those attractions the way they do, because that looked like a lot of fun. And with that, the sun is setting on our Fastlane test and review. The review is, it's awesome. Fastlane as an experience, Fastlane as a useful thing is amazing. We barely tried hard. We did, 5 attractions? We could have done double that. It's unlimited, by the way. Didn't even get into that. You could use it as many times as you want you could do it all day on GhostRider if you want. You could spend or save 3 hours of a trip on GhostRider. But we did 5 attractions, I think it was. And we saved about 8 hours. Just unimaginable savings, time savings. And so the expense at $100, again, in a vacuum by itself, without any other influence or any other part of the conversation, you add that together with the ticket, the cost of the ticket, $180 all in, $170. I mean, that's pretty good. That's less than you would spend at Disneyland, and then you still have to buy in to the Genie Plus at Disneyland. It's a pretty good value. It's just, it's the value that you're getting at now shrinks quite a bit once you make that decision to get Fastlane. But it's still a pretty good deal. I feel like it's almost not quite a deterrent enough. There were a lot of people in those Fastlane queues at times. The GhostRider Fastlane queue was deep. Pony Express was long. The Xcelerator, very long Fastlane queue. So there is still some competition. So I wonder if they're getting enough, if it's not maybe still priced not high enough. It makes me question my feelings about whether or not they should raise the price at Disneyland. We thought, well, it's not expensive enough. And having looked at it here, I mean, with knots at 100, I don't think you could do a $100 ticket here, or at Disneyland, I should say. I think they need to keep it at 30. I don't know. And one other thing I'll say, without having done a full comparison yet at Universal Studios, though I already have a pretty good idea of what that experience will be like in comparison to Knott's in Disney. I think the $100 Fastlane might be the best of the 3. I think it could be, all things considered, price, usefulness, how many times you can use it, that kind of thing, how many attractions you can use it on, how it changes your experience in the parks. I think it might be the best one. But Universal, we haven't done a full test on that yet, but we just know there's 5 attractions at Universal. It's upwards of $200, and you can only use it once per attraction. I mean, those are all, how do you overcome that? I don't know. But then again, they don't sell near as many, and it has a much less cost to the standby guest. standby guest has a pretty good time of it still at Universal because of that. Something to consider. But if you're going to invest in a pass, a Fastlane style pass, I mean, that's hard to beat. Add in the price, ticket plus Fastlane, $170, I think I said. It's not terrible. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I did. I had a great time figuring this out. It almost makes me want to maybe get it. There's a buy-in for the annual pass. It's like $1 billion or something like that. But it almost makes me want to do that because, as I mentioned, you can't do this park without it on a busy day. I don't know, man. I'm thinking about it now. I hope you enjoyed. If you did and you want to support our channel, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. Follow us on Instagram at _freshbaked and on Twitter at freshbakedizzy. That's freshbaked.e, and that sun is killing me. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Where are you going? Thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked. You think of the back of that GhostRider queue? Ever got to the ride vehicles? They're out there somewhere, Fresh Baked. Those guests are out there somewhere.